people. Hi. See some red hats somewhere.
There are a ton of red hats. Being that, you were signing today.
Yes.
What's it like for you seeing so many people dressed up as Agent Carter?
Weird. Oh, it's lovely. It's very humbling. When you do a show, I did Captain America 5 years ago, and you'd never think that 5 years later I'd be here seeing people that Peggy has really influenced and inspired. So that's a credit to, by no means just me. There's so many people that are involved in the making of Peggy, and the costume, of course, the writers, the producers, all the crew and family at Marvel. So it just feels like such an amazing kind of support system that I feel from the fans, which definitely helps me carry on when I'm feeling very tired.
When you first joined Captain America, the first Avenger, did you have any idea that the character of Agent Carter would play such an important role in the Marvel Universe?
No, I was kind of, established in England mainly as a theatre actress, and then I got the call saying, do you want to audition for this? I was like, no, okay. Because you never know, and I tend to approach every part with the exact same kind of mindset, which is you do the best you can in the room, and if the job's meant to be for you, then it's yours, and you go and do it and get paid and go home. So there's no kind of expectation of where your career's going to go. So I loved the audition, I loved the script, and when I got it, it was just such a turning point in my career because I'd never been involved with anything that kind of genre-based or commercial superhero kind of world. So it opened me up to a whole different... So I don't want to ignore all of you guys. And it was just really, really refreshing to be in something so different. But I had no idea that 5 years later I'd be here kind of fronting my own show. And such an empowering show for women mostly. But
well, who follows Hayley on social media?
Yes!
Team Carter! Okay, well, let's go right to that then. Do you ever think... Who has seen her dub smash videos? Did you ever think your love of dub smashing would ever lead to dub smash wars for charity?
Well, the thing is, I started dub smashing backstage at cons, just to pass the time. A few months ago, it was actually Alana Masterson from The Walking Dead, and she introduced me to it, and I was like, this is amazing. And so I just started doing it, and then of course I showed James Darcy, who plays Jarvis, and we were having fun at San Diego Comic-Con. And then Chloe and Clark were like, what are you guys doing? We were like, oh, we're just being awesomely creative on social media. And they were like, oh yeah, well, we can do that. And then it just got a little bit competitive, and it got really competitive, and it's now to the death. And it's for a good cause. We're all going to die in the process of it and lose each other's friendships. Right. Someone will get something out of it.
Well, I want to talk about the very first video that you posted for Dub Smash Wars for Charity. It had to do with Ms. Piggy.
It did.
So we were chatting a little bit backstage before I came out. What was that like for you meeting Ms. Piggy for the first time?
I was so intimidated. She's such a diva. Oh my god, she hardly even looked at me. She kind of like went. And James was like, oh, well, you're very pretty, Miss Piggy. And she went, oh, well, you're surprised? Just getting kind of her hair done and everything, and we did it, and she was game for it, which was great. But it was, she's kind of a legend, really. But it was very kind of. It took about a month of phone calls and pleading with people and getting Louis D'Esposito, the co-president of Marvel. I was calling him up, going, can you help us out? Who do you know that's famous that we can steal for this? So it was really because he put in the calls, so we've been very fortunate to be doing that. So that's the first one. And what we understand now is that we've got, I think, Wednesday will be when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. post their Dub Smash in kind of reply to ours. And then there's a second round and then a finale. So please vote Team Carter. In fact, vote for the best videos. Don't vote because some people have been voting for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they haven't even posted anything yet. And they might be crap, and they probably will be compared to us. Vote for the quality of the Dub Smash.
Carter. Well, another time that you broke the internet was when someone asked who you would like to play on Doctor Who.
God, yeah.
Were you surprised by, honestly, you broke the internet when you said you wanted to play the Doctor?
Well, you know, I like to play with kind of the gender issue of casting in you know, various films and TV and things like, you know, someone said to me, would you love to play a Bond girl one day? And I was like, hell no, I'd rather play Bond. That was kind of like obvious, and so when someone just said, do you want to be the Doctor's companion? I was like, no, I want to play the Doctor, and so I carried on the joke. But then the internet went mental for it, so, which is kind of sod's law means I probably will never even get an audition to play the Doctor. I'm probably going to be banned from that whole institution, but we'll see.
Well, my next question is going to be, so you haven't heard from Stephen Moffat, the executive producer of Doctor Who?
No, he's been blacklisted.
Stephen! I think I say Stephen like I know him. Well, I know you guys have lots of questions for Hayley here, so we're actually going to have Gordon set up in the middle. If you guys have a question, you can... Yeah? Oh, you guys are nice. You guys take other summers. We run here in Canada. I've noticed it. So enthusiastic.
Wow! What's your question? Where's the restroom?
It's gotta be a really good question. Oh, and we're moving up. See, look at all these people. Okay, if you're ready.
Hello.
Hello.
So, as you know, we were talking about the Dub Smash War, and I know that most people here are probably supporting Team Carter. And I was wondering if there was any way that this whole room could somehow get involved with the war.
Well, I love the idea of that. The only thing is, it's got to be a surprise from S.H.I.E.L.D. And if we dub now, everyone's going to know about it on the internet, so it kind of defeats the point. But maybe in the next year's competition. Good idea. It's going to go on for a long time.
My question is, did you anticipate there was going to be a season 2 for Agent Carter? And then when you did find out, were you kind of like excited because then you could expand, I guess, the story more of what happened from like season 1?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't anticipate there'd be a second season. I know that critically it was well received. I don't think the ratings had shot through the roof to the point where it was therefore going to be a done deal that we'd immediately have a second season. So it was really to do with the online support of the fans, and also just the fact that the reviews have been so positive. I think also I wanted, and we're starting to explore this in the second season, just she's in a different place. She's gone to Los Angeles, so she's in the Hollywood kind of glamorous world where they had this kind of gangster, dark underbelly in the 40s, which was, you know, kind of like LA Confidential, film noir-esque. So it's taken on that kind of tone. And then also she's no longer grieving Steve, so she's ready to open up her heart, so she's in a much lighter, happier place within herself. And then of course we've got Jarvis being crazy Jarv, with his three-piece woolen suit and his absolute dislike for palm trees and he's very, very funny. So I think there'll be lots of different angles, and I think we're going to delve into her past a little bit. There'll be certainly more kind of love interests, love triangles, and yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think that the great thing is that we know that because of Winter Soldier, we know that Peggy lives into her mid-90s, so there's so much scope. We know that she's she found S.H.I.E.L.D. and therefore she has this incredibly full life. We know that at one point she gets married and has children. So, you know, I could be hopefully doing this in 3 or 4 decades from now. Whether they like it or not, I'll still be at home in my room playing Peggy to myself.
What upcoming Marvel movie are you most excited for? And what's your opinion on Civil War?
Well, you see, I'm a bit controversial in this respect because I'm not really into the comic book superhero films. Sorry guys. It's just not I love being part of it, I completely get it. But I'm actually clueless as to what's coming out apart from Civil War, because I went and gate crashed the set about 3 times in Atlanta. What I'm most looking forward to is seeing his kind of mesh stomach. Which I did kind of pat down gently. Just make sure he was still there. I'm most looking forward to seeing kind of the development of Chris's characterization. I think he's just gotten better with every Cap role he's played in the films, and I think they get darker, they get more psychologically interesting. We'll see. He wouldn't even tell me the story of what happens, so I wasn't even allowed that. But Peggy's kind of in there somewhere.
Okay, that's good.
Hi, Hayley.
Hello.
I know, like Lauren said, we all love your Dub Smash videos, and you said you're really humbled by us dressed like Peggy Bondoc. How threatened were you, though, by Clark Gregg in person?
What, when he dressed up as Peggy? You mean?
Yeah.
Well, I was quite tired, and so I went to bed early. So I just kind of ordered room service and sat in my room as James went downstairs with all the team of S.H.I.E.L.D. to get ready to go to this big Entertainment Weekly party that I decided to opt out of. And he kept texting me and they're all going crazy behind this curtain, overexcited and really proud of themselves and what they're doing. And I was like, it's gonna be fine, guys. James, we've nailed it. We're fine. I'm just gonna have my chicken Caesar salad and go to bed. And then James texted me and went, oh shit. Sorry to swear, children. It's very bad. Watch your language. So I was like, oh, it can't be that bad. But then the exciting thing is that S.H.I.E.L.D. were trying to upload it on Instagram and on Twitter, but for some reason the internet was down, and they thought for about a good 20 minutes they'd actually lost the video. But James was sat in the van with them all, going to this party, as I'm sat there going, show me, I just want to see it, I just want to see it. And they were losing their minds because they were that close to not having got it. And then just as they pulled up at the party, Clark found it again, went, oh my god, I've got it, posted it. And I watched it and I was livid. I was so upset with how good it was. I was disgusted, I was fuming. And that was why then I was just like, well, this is the saddest day of my life. And then James and I, we obviously, neither of us had slept properly because we turned up the next morning, both of us had bags under each other's eyes, and James just goes, there's only one way to win this. I was like, tell me. And he goes, it means a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of travel. I said, I'm in. I don't care what it costs. I'm in. And he went, we need to go to Atlanta, we need to get Chris. And I was like, yes, hell yes! So I called up Chris immediately, and he was like, what? I was like, okay, so we're gonna get up at 3:30 in the morning, come to Atlanta for a 9-second dub smash, and then we'll fly straight back, so we won't interfere with you. We know that we're filming on set, you just need to be in your cap and media shield. And he was like, oh, and then can we have a snog afterwards? We need to kiss each other. And he was like, oh yeah, that's fine. That's a long story.
Maybe Dub Smash can be such serious business. Seriously, taking over your life.
Oh, I'm really, really sad. I really need a boyfriend. I'm joking, don't tell that was actually. Amy's really desperate. No, Dub Smash is just doing fine for me right now.
Hi, Hayley.
Hello.
Thanks so much for coming. I think one of the things people love so much about Peggy is her fighting style, and that she just kind of fights with everything that's around her that she uses as a weapon. So my question is, what has been your favorite weapon of opportunity that Peggy has used?
That's a good question. Well, I love the diner scene. She uses a plate and kicks a chair, and it is a perfect example of her fighting style. She's not someone that's, like myself, not particularly skilled, but very confident, which is incredibly deadly combination for Peggy's enemies and for my stunt men. And I was rehearsing that I have to kick this clipboard out of this man's hand, which I filmed yesterday. And it was at night time, it was like midnight, and he's like, do you want to try it? And he held the clipboard up like kind of like this. He's like 6'3", and he just went, if you want to practice it. So I meant to just kind of, I meant to like tap it gently with my foot, and then he reacts by pretending it's smacking him in the face. So I kind of caught him off guard, and I just went, ugh, and he just went, and it just like landed over the other side of the parking lot where we were filming, and he was like, oh, okay. Oh. It's like, you're really intense. I'm sorry. But I think what Marvel have done very kindly and brilliantly is used my skills as the strengths of her fight sequences in the show, that she doesn't have to be incredible at martial arts. She's just very resourceful around her, physically capable, very present, spontaneous, and I think that kind of makes her a lot more relatable, as well as a dirtier fighter, which is kind of more my style anyway.
Okay. Hey, I'm Jason.
Hi.
Hi. Otherwise known as Jason_the_ninja, so follow me on Twitter. Anyways, Hayley, I want to know what your philosophy on life is, and I know, a simple question, and what the dog was, because there's the most adorable white dog in your Dub Smash videos. I don't know what
the dog?
Yeah,
that's Arthur, Chloe Bennett's dog.
Oh, really?
James stole it. I'm going to use this, and I just picked it up. Sorry, go. So what's my philosophy of life?
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell. Well, it's ever evolving, and that's the exciting thing about life. And as you grow up and have many experiences, and your perception starts to shift when you travel and get a sense that every story has, every life has a story and has a past that's very rich and very full. And I feel kind of grateful enough that I've had many experiences that are constantly shifting my perception of what I feel like the world is about. But you know, I love like George Bernard Shaw. He says, you know, it's not about finding yourself. You know, there's this emphasis nowadays, and like, I just want to find out who I am. And I find it a bit indulgent, actually. And I think instead of like, I'm gonna go and sit and find myself, I think it should be more about creating yourself. Creating, inventing, discovering, exploring, expanding yourself, but projected outwards. So it's not like, I'm just going to sit here and be amazing. It's like, it's not about you. It's kind of strengthening your skills as a human being, and then extending them outwards so that you make a contribution to the world. And I think that in itself is good.
Hi, Hayley.
Hi.
You're a lot more beautiful in person.
You say I'm ugly on screen? Outrageous.
My question today is, how real is Cartellini?
How real? Like, have I hooked up with?
I mean, obviously you have, right?
Oh, well, I mean, I can't really say in the sense that I think she is probably, I'm making up things as I go along here. I don't want to kind of, I don't want to speculate, and I don't want to put ideas into the writers' minds that don't feel like are founded on anything real other than answering a really exciting fan base. I'm a huge fan of Cartinelli, as is Lindsay, and we are huge supporters of LGBT rights, and we hope that there's more diversity on television, promoting that you know, the importance of those kind of relationships, both romantic and platonic. I think the thing that stands out for me in Angie's relationship, Peggy and Angie, is that it's seldom that you see on television a friendship between two women that isn't founded on the interest of a man that they're talking about. And also isn't competitive or bitchy. I think there's a genuine affection that they have for each other. Whether or not you want to project the idea that that's romantic or sexual onto it is entirely up to you and how you want to view it. But I think there's a mutual respect that's quite rare, that I want to see more of in film and stories, because I think it reflects much more the quality of female relationships that we have with each other in society, which a lot of the time are not bitchy and competitive. If any woman was like that in my life, they wouldn't be in my life. So we want to have less of them on screen and more of a much more honest representation of female relationships.
Hi there. Continuing on that line, I'm asking on behalf of AfterEllen.com, where we're big fans of you. And I just wanted to ask, despite a villainous kiss, there's no actual lesbian storyline on the show, as you've just expressed, yet queer women are really attracted to the show. Could you comment maybe on why that is? And now that there is a Boston marriage kind of coming in the next season, can you speak to that a little bit?
Wait, so the first part of the question is, why do you think it's had such a support from the gay community?
Yep.
Because gays have good taste. Is the only thing I can come up with that one. And the second question, sorry, so what was it again?
The fact that they're moving in together.
Oh, Angie
Like
and
Boston, yeah.
what's her face? Thank you. I was quite saying that I temporarily forget what
It is a Boston-type marriage, but a Boston marriage used to have other connotations too, right? So
absolutely. I think why not? I fully support that idea. I think it's a great idea. It's a very modern notion. I think relationships are so much more interesting and complex and grey area than we like to kind of portray in the media. I think they're a lot more richer and fuller, whether there is a romantic element to them or not. So I think that Angie and Peggy are kind of ahead of their time in the way that they're kind of modern women living in the 1940s in what's essentially a man's world and trying to make it. But I think that Lindsay plays her so brilliantly, and there's a real affection Lindsay and I have for each other as two actresses working together. And that's something that I've tried to have with every actor that's come in, even if they've only got one scene to play in the show, because it's essentially my show and I'm leading it. I'm leading the tone and the atmosphere on set. So I want to make sure that anyone that comes in just for a day or 2 days feels validated, feels welcomed, feels appreciated, and as a result, they do their best work because of it. So I'm very keen on forging important professional working relationships that seem to spill over onto the screen and just tell a stronger, better story. I've gone off onto a random tangent, but there you go.
Hi. I'm just wondering what your reaction was to when you saw older Peggy in Ant-Man on screen.
I haven't seen it. I know, I'm sure it's crushing the box office, the fact that I haven't paid my ticket yet, but I will go and see it. I've got a photograph, and obviously I was there, so I know, I don't like it. I love it. I think she looks great. She's got really good hair. And I'm like, God damn it, I can't get my hair to do that by myself. So I'm just hoping that I age as gracefully as Peggy. I'm gonna have to hire a permanent hairdresser really to do that. But yeah, I think she ages well. She's pretty well.
Hi, Hayley.
Hello.
You have some great dialogue on the show, so I wanted to know what your favorite Agent Carter quote is.
It's really hard, because every time I learn lines, as soon as I've delivered them, I can't remember them again. Obviously, the quote of "I know my value, anyone else's opinion doesn't really matter" is something that I've seen so many people with the tattoos of that quote, which is very moving. And and I think that really sums up who Peggy is and who she discovers herself to be towards the end of the first season. And also, it reveals that her agenda, the reason why she's doing this, she's carrying on this work, not for the fame, not for the praise, not for this kind of social status, but for the the labor itself, for the fulfillment of doing the job to the best of her ability, because she knows who she is. And I think that's such a strong and such a positive and inspiring place to be, rather than a kind of a desperate need to be validated by other people. It's like, well, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what people think of you. In fact, it's actually none of your business. The most important thing is what you think of yourself. And that's something that Peggy has in spades, which is why she can walk into a room and not be intimidated by the men. And she's not focusing on her insecurities about it being in an environment like that. And it means there's more headspace for her to focus on the witty retorts, the clever comebacks, devising intelligent plans. Because she's got more headspace, because she's focusing on the right things rather than focusing on, oh my God, no one's saying I'm amazing. No one's giving me credit. No one's slapping my ass. Yeah. I don't know something American. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry about the Americans. I hope that kind of answers your question.
Hi, Hayley.
Hi.
My question is, may you please compare how you reacted to the first episode of Agent Carter, so when you were reading the script, to how you reacted when you're reading the script for the finale?
Oh, well, the great thing was they were kind of writing it as they went along. So I didn't have all the scripts at once. I was having the next episode given to me a couple of days before we started filming it. So it was very fresh. I think what I loved was the arc of Steve and how that manifests in, obviously having a vial of his blood and making sure it doesn't get into the wrong hands and doubting Howard and all these things that are happening. But ultimately, personally, it's a story about her grief. And it's how she overcomes that and how she manages to move on. And how she also at the same time manages to protect the memory of Steve by destroying his blood, destroying any kind of evidence so it doesn't get into the wrong hands. And I just thought it was very beautiful and very sensitive, because I think so many people who saw Captain America loved Steggy, as they call it, Peggy and Steve, and they loved that relationship. So I think if we'd gone straight into the first season with a new love interest, I think it would have undermined what they had together in the first season. So it was very important that they established what the loss of him did to her, and the fact that she still tries to carry on his work throughout the season. And then I think it was just beautifully wrapped up, because I think people can move on, and it's part of human nature to, once you've processed something very painful and something like loss, that there is hope for you to be able to not ever replace that person, but to certainly kind of make way for a new opportunity in your life that gives you greater contentment and companionship. So that's what we're exploring.